Hello, lovers, and welcome to another episode of Oh So Smitten, the Wedding Podcast. I know you're going to adore today's episode just as much as I do, as I'm talking about all the finer details of a signature cocktail moment. I spoke with Shai, the beautiful owner and creator of the Divine Cocktail Floats from Argira. Her brand was initially inspired by a personal need and blossomed into a business idea. With her time spent primarily working in emergency services, she needed a creative outlet to unwind and recharge. She puts her heart into every design and ensures she encapsulates the vision of what the couple are wanting for their day. After this episode, you'll be reaching for your signature cocktail of choice or dreaming of a cocktail tower moment for your day. Let's get into today's episode. Welcome, Shai. I mean, it's of no surprise to listeners that I've asked you to come onto the podcast today, as anything to do with signature cocktails has my name written all over it. So thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me. What's your poison of choice?
Oh, I mean, always a chili margarita.
That's the OG. Absolutely. Yeah. Can't go past it.
Exactly. But I feel like I've been loving gin lately. So usually I would have been staying so far away from gin, but anything with gin lately, I've been like, yeah, even in winter.
Oh, nice. I do have a really nice elderflower gin recipe, actually. So
oh my God, maybe
we'll have to look at uploading some recipes. Yeah.
That is a great idea. It's so funny because in all the previous episodes, anytime we've been talking about a moment that we're so excited for within our wedding day, I'm always like, signature cocktail moment. Like, we just need it.
Yes. Absolutely, 100%. And it really tells the tale of you as a couple.
Yeah, it just levels up the whole day.
Absolutely, 100%.
It's so funny because I feel like as a celebrant, obviously I'm talking to couples about, their ceremony and what their beginning of the day is going to look like. And I feel like that is just where we bring all the energy. So I'm always thinking, so what are we doing prior to the ceremony? Like, when are we serving cocktails? What's happening? And they're always like,
get the guests excited.
That's exactly right. Now, of course, before we start, I always have to ask, are you in your bride-to-be era or have you said I do?
Oh, I said I do just last November, actually.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Yes. I didn't even know. So tell me all about it.
Unfortunately, on the day it did rain. However, I will say to any brides out there that are worried about rain on their big day, it made for some glorious photos. We actually got some of those, the see-through umbrellas, and our videographer captured my stepson running with these two umbrellas, which is absolutely stunning.
Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful.
Yeah, and the entire day was actually based around the colour of my stationery in the end. So I pitched,
oh my gosh, I love this.
I know. That's the type of person I am. So I pitched my stationery and I was very cognizant of making sure that was simple and luxe, and then that sort of colour theme really flowed throughout the rest of the day. I made sure that the table wasn't too overwhelming and it really sort of just blended in, and the aesthetic went through the entirety of the day, which was really beautiful in the end.
I love that. You're just like speaking to my heart when you're saying that the whole theme of the day just all began from the colouring of stationery. I love that. And so whereabouts did you get married?
So we got married in Levantine Hill, which is a winery in Victoria. Absolutely stunning. And the staff there were just incredible. They were so helpful. The wine is top tier. The food, exquisite. It was wonderful.
All the important details, of course.
Exactly.
So let's get into chatting, of course, what you're here for today. And that is your incredible cocktail float. Tell me about the name. How did that come about and how do you pronounce it?
So Argira is the business name, and that is named after my two stepchildren, Arianna and Grayson. And so it's the first three letters of both of their names and then put together and then flipped back to front. Essentially, it all sort of came around actually because of one of Arianna's birthday parties, which I'm massive into.
Oh my gosh.
Planning and getting behind. Yes. So, and I really wanted a little reminder that, everything that we do in the end is for them. So it's
I love that.
It's really close to me.
That is so beautiful because I guess like being in business, I have two young girls myself. And so I'm constantly trying to remind myself like, it's not time away from them. I'm kind of creating moments for them in long term. But sometimes it's hard. I mean, they left their house this morning. It was absolute chaos. And then pull myself together and I'm like, we have got this. So I totally resonate with that. And that is so beautiful. I mean, I feel like I'm only just delving into the birthday party era and it kind of terrifies me because
what a time.
We might need to chat about one, signature cocktail cocktail recipes and then 2
Yes.
birthday parties.
I can't wait till they're on another level. And I'm really fortunate at the moment that, we're still able to do the themed birthday parties.
Yes.
So we've got, like Star Wars coming up this year, which
Amazing.
I haven't even really seen all the Star Wars, but it's going to be elite.
Thankfully, my daughter's birthday is actually in October. So I feel like I have the progression of everyone else's birthday parties prior to, and I get all the ideas, right? And then I feel like I can kind of come out with a bang. But it's so funny because I said to my husband, I said, well, Frankie's birthday is coming up the end of the year. Like, so far, this is what other families have chosen. But I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get a cocktail cart for all the parents.
I would absolutely come to that.
Right.
So good.
Right. You'd appreciate it. I feel like I'm going to put my money into signature cocktails for my daughter's birthday for the parents, and then entertainment, like a face painter, a fairy, some sort of situation like that, right?
Everyone's entertained at that point.
Exactly. I'll be like, maybe you should get dropped off. You don't need to drive here.
Everybody get in an Uber.
So good. Now, you're an incredibly busy woman working in emergency services by day, a stepmom, as you said, 2 beautiful children, Arianna and Grayson. So how did this all come about?
So actually, Argira started, I was creating personalised Christmas ornaments. So I was getting Polaroid pictures and putting dried flowers in clear ornaments. I was giving those away for Christmas. Then I ended up getting married in November. So all of that got put on hold. And Ariana's birthday party was December. Her birthday is New Year's Eve. And we had a Harry Potter birthday party. The butterbeer was just, I don't know, there was something missing from the butterbeer. So I wanted to come up with something a little bit extra for that. And so that's actually how the cocktail floats came about.
Oh my gosh.
Harry Potter
How
butterbeer.
good.
Yes.
I also just see the joy in your face, like as you're talking about the product, but also the birthday parties. It's so beautiful because you can tell that you're genuinely just so passionate about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to be fair, Harry Potter, I think I was more excited than she was. But I think I'm such a fan of paying attention to small details. I think it's absolutely critical.
Yes.
And it is in both lines of work, realistically. But I think, in terms of weddings and thinking about couples' big days, the guests are going to come in and that's what they're going to take away and remember. They're going to remember the food, the dancing, the love, but all of the little details that the couples paid attention to. So
I just love that because I feel like when I was planning my wedding day, I was worried about all those little things. Like I was questioning and asking family and friends, like, how should I have the napkin? Should I have it flat and like off the table, or should I have it in a knot? And they're all like, you're not going to remember this. But I'm like, yeah, but this is what I love right now. And this is what I want to be focusing on. So tell me,
exactly.
Not
you get married once. So you want to be doing that, focusing on those little things. It's your moment. It's your wedding. Absolutely get excited about that sort of thing.
I would have to agree as to that is why the podcast came about, because as a marriage celebrant, I am talking with couples at the beginning of their journey and then all the way through. So of course, I'm always wondering how they're going with other vendors and things like that. And I just want to make sure that they've invested in all these incredible vendors to have as part of their day. I'm saying to them, okay, you've got your photographer, so we're going to make sure that we nail every single photo opportunity in your ceremony so that at our rehearsal, we're going over, okay, when you hand over the rings, like, I don't know, if the dog's going to come and hand up the rings, well, then we're going to make sure that the photographer, videographer knows exactly where to be for that moment when they're there.
Perfect.
And completely agree with all the finer details. It's just so beautiful. So let's just tap in a little bit more about what do you exactly do in emergency services?
So I'm a manager in emergency communication services and I oversee, so this is all at 000 Victoria, and I oversee the team leaders who look after the call takers and dispatchers that are speaking to members of the public in the community on their very worst day of their life. And also,
my gosh.
Yeah, it can absolutely be hectic. But like I've said on a little post that I posted about myself on my Instagram page, it means that my entire career is about meeting and beating deadlines. So I think whilst emergency services and the events industry maybe seems like two polar opposites, it's actually, really some transferable skills that I think.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's probably like quite a calming moment for you to be able to do this. I know that it's such a creative outlet for you, just to be able to like clock off from your job or all the other things that are happening in our life and just be able to show that creativity side. I think it's so important.
Yeah, I get to tap into the other side of my brain and really unwind with, designs and get to see, some really positive feedback from clients, which unfortunately, given my other line of work, is not necessarily how that goes. So it's really nice to sort of have some positivity and some creativity.
So share with us, without sharing your secret, of course, the concept of the cocktail float. So how they made and just a little insight about the process, I guess.
So I will speak to couples and they will give me their brief ordinarily. So it might be as simple as a monogram or or, here's our color palette. Some couples send me full lookbooks on what their wedding is going to look like, which I am here for.
Share a
And
Pinterest
it's
board.
really a please. Absolutely. The more of the brief that I have to work with, the more successful the design will be. Come up with something either bespoke or work with the fonts that they're using in their stationery so that aesthetic does flow through. So yeah, the whole design process and production is done right here in my home in Spotswood, Melbourne. It is a very physical process. So the printing, picking, packing process is quite physical, which means it is very time consuming. But no, it leads to really great quality product because we only use the best. And I think the couples really see that when they get their product.
Are you surprised at how much it's taken off? So obviously you started it for, a Harry Potter themed butterbeer party. Did you ever imagine that so many people would resonate with it and just go, oh my gosh, I need that?
It's actually really exciting as well when I saw, the followers increase on Instagram, the purchases come through, and the real need for the product. I've seen other people come and go and they're starting to create something similar and calling them floats. And I just think, wow, am I that trendy? This is amazing. So it's crazy, but I really feel like I found my people. Get that little luxe extra detail that's really going to make everything pop. I think it's really wonderful.
I remember seeing them for the first time. Again, usually everyone that I have on the podcast is usually because my algorithm has aligned with them. And I remember seeing them and just being like, oh my gosh, they are just divine.
Oh, amazing. Thank you so much.
You were saying as part of the design process that people can, I guess, give you ideas of what they're after. So they can kind of be a part of that process. But then I'm sure you probably have some standard designs that people might use that could go with any type of wedding.
Yeah, absolutely. So we do have some designs already on the website. I do feel like weddings specifically, I'm probably aiming more towards a bespoke design currently. I think things like bridal showers and hens parties, I've definitely got some options on the website where people can just check out, because ordinarily that's bridesmaids organising that on the behalf of the bride. But I feel like no two weddings are the same. You can absolutely organise your initials or a monogram, which might look similar to your best friend's wedding if they're organising the same sort of thing. But I really do aim towards a more bespoke float for weddings because it's your day. You are unique, and so should your float be.
Absolutely. I've seen some of those hens ones and I'm like, oh my gosh. I saw the espresso martini tower not a champagne.
Gosh.
Oh my gosh. I was just
how epic.
So amazing. And
I'm so annoyed that I didn't think of that.
I know, but I mean, I've never seen it done. I've seen the champagne tower done obviously numerous times, which is so beautiful, eloquent, and just bougie. I'm like, love that. But imagine being the cocktail maker for that, like shaking all those espresso martinis.
And it's funny because the bartenders from Noosa, they posted that and they'd organised the floats through me. And when I saw, and the couple's actually there shaking the cocktail and then pouring it down, I was just like, what a moment.
So incredible.
I'm so jealous that I didn't have that at my wedding.
Oh, I know. This is why I keep telling my husband I have to do this all over again. I'm like, it's research.
Let's have our renewal. I've got some more ideas.
Exactly. I guess you were saying before, the feedback that you're getting from couples, are they just in awe of, I guess they're receiving the product, but they're not using the product in its true form until the day, because obviously they're receiving the floats in itself, but you have to add it to the drink to really see the magic. So I guess, are you getting the feedback from them after the wedding?
Yeah, I mean, I get sent pictures of how the beverages have gone, which is really, really wonderful. But you're right, the feedback doesn't necessarily come until after the event. I do, in most cases, try to include one or two spares because I know myself personally, I'd be like, okay, how does this work? There is absolutely opportunity for the couples to open it up and have a bit of a go and see what it's going to look like for their guests. But yes, the feedback doesn't necessarily come until afterwards, but all of it's been positive. I haven't had any negative feedback so far, nothing constructive. So I think people see things on Instagram and they think, okay, how is this going to translate to my own day? And when they actually get there and they go, wow, okay, this is even better in person, that's really rewarding.
Yeah, and it's almost like when you get those a couple of extras when you first order, it's almost like you have to have a cheeky one just to like test it out.
Absolutely.
Right?
Definitely. I feel like, okay, look, where is my cocktail shaker?
Yeah, we may as well. Let's just go. So share with the couple about the process. When they inquire all the way up to their order, what does that look like in time frame wise? So how far out do people need to be ordering?
Yeah, so our floats actually last 12 to 18 months if they're stored correctly, and they do come with storage instructions. So I don't leave you high and dry. You absolutely know what you should be doing with your cocktail floats to ensure that they're fresh right up until the event. So even couples getting married in August next year can be ordering today and still have them fresh in time for their event. I do feel like couples generally will organise maybe 3 months out, and that's just because because they've got their stationery already organized. So they're aware of, their theme of their wedding and the fonts that they're wanting to use, any details such as, okay, there's going on espresso martini, so I want them to be black. So I am finding that that's kind of the sweet spot. Once couples have already purchased the floats, I will start the concept process, which is where I come up with the designs. I'll send that to the couple. They then get to select out of the designs that I've come up with which they prefer. And then we go into production. And at the moment, we do have a bit of a backlog in the production queue, which is very exciting, but it is about a 2-week time once a couple has approved the design, and then 2 weeks later they'll be sent out to you.
Incredible. I think that's like a bit bittersweet, is that like you have a bit of a backlog, which goes to show how popular they are, and that's amazing. But of course,
yes,
it just is a reminder to couples who are planning their day, if you're wanting it a part of your day, then definitely be ordering it now, because as you say, it has that time in which they're still good to use.
Exactly, absolutely. And I am actually closing for November this year. I want to make sure that all of the orders are out prior to my leave, and I won't be coming back until the 1st of December. So, Christmas floats or weddings in December, absolutely. Now is probably the time to start thinking about it.
Now, what do people need to be mindful of when having them a part of their day? So for example, if they're handing them over to bar staff, is there anything that they need to be sharing?
So on the back of the card that the floats in, it's actually got all the storage instructions and how to actually use the floats. So it is quite self-explanatory for the bar staff. One point I will say is that if you are having a champagne tower or a cocktail tower, the floats need to go on top of the beverage and not be sitting in the glass for the pour, purely because it is edible ink and it will run quite quickly if the liquor or the liquid is poured on top of the cocktail float. However, when it's placed on top, the float will actually move with the beverage, so you don't actually get too much of the ink run.
Wow, it's so detailed, isn't it?
Yes.
So do you have any plans for your future with the business, and any new designs on their way or products to share with the listeners? Any cheeky insights?
Oh, cheeky insights. I'm currently working on a Christmas range, and I know it's August, but I'm very, very excited. So there will be a Christmas range coming out just for summer cocktails. But additionally, I am in the process of working on pool floats, which floating designs to go in a pool if you have a summer wedding and that there's a pool in the backdrop. I think that's going to be a really nice added touch. I do have one ready to go that says wife of the party for some beautiful photos for advertising. Being in Melbourne, our weather doesn't make for the best photos currently, so I'll have to wait till spring to maybe launch that. But
or you'll just have to have a sweet little holiday to Noosa, and then you always have beautiful weather.
What a terrible time.
Sounds awful, right?
Yes, yes.
So where would you say the best place for people to find you who are planning their day? Like, do you prefer people to come through Instagram, the website?
The website, I have email and I have Instagram. I think the website is good just to gauge what you're looking for. So when you are checking out through the website, if you are getting a bespoke design, there is a brief box for you to fill in all the details, any fonts, colors, anything that you're after. I do absolutely love that contact with clients. So just to really gauge what they're wanting from their day. So email's also wonderful. DM, I'm always available. I'll always get back to you. So any of those 3 platforms, perfect.
Incredible. I'm sure you just love seeing the photos that you receive or that people are tagging you in of their wedding day, and you're seeing your creations just a part of their day. It would be so beautiful.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. I sit at work sometimes and I'm knee deep in a bucket of work, and then I see that I've been a small part of a couple's day, and I feel so privileged to be a part of that. It's wonderful.
Amazing. Well, everyone who's listening, they are obviously listening for a reason, because I'm sure somewhere I have advertised it as a signature cocktail moment, so they're all a part of it. So yeah, definitely you guys just need to make sure you're ordering these beautiful cocktail floats for your day. And thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today.
Not a problem. Thank you so much for having me.
Now, lovers, that is all there is time for today. I hope you adored this episode just as much as I did. As you indulge, be sure to share away on your socials, tagging @ohsosmitten_ so I can feature you, and of course do a sneaky follow and stalk on your wedding day. I would be so grateful if you could leave a review wherever you listen to your podcast, 5-star of course, and share the love of the podcast to those who are about to walk down the aisle. Be sure to check out and join the official Smitten Love book over on Facebook. These are our people, because remember, no one loves talking about your wedding day more than those about to say I do. I'm here to make your day that little bit more intentional and curated with all the finer details. Within this community, choose kindness, and as always, I acknowledge the land in which I'm recording this podcast. I can't wait to chat next week, lovers. Bye-bye.